Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. The city of Prince Albert began deliberations on the 2026 general fund budget this morning. Several city councillors voiced concerns from residents about the budget's impact on property tax, as it includes $4.4 million in additional funding from taxation. The city manager says one significant expense, the new leisure centre, has not had an impact when it comes to evaluating property tax. Annual financing payments on the centre are made through the Recreation Reserve. This morning, the Budget Committee approved $4 million in financing payments to 3 separate loans on the leisure centre. Around $60 million remains to be paid on the loans, with the final payment due in 2058. The budget is scheduled for discussion from Wednesday until Friday. The chief and councillors of Meadow Lake Tribal Council are demanding urgent action from governments to fix what they say is an urgent public safety crisis in their communities. Officials from the 9 First Nations that make up the Meadow Lake Tribal Council gathered in Saskatoon for meetings on Wednesday. They're calling for action to fix a chaotic situation that's gotten worse over the last 10 years. They say it's a result of drugs and gangs without police detachments on First Nations. The vice chief says it can take up to an hour and a half for police response.
We have communities that hold 2,000 people in these communities. Do we have people in southern Saskatchewan without that service? Why is it in northern Saskatchewan and First Nations people, we have 2,000 people and there's not a police force there?
Leaders say they want meetings with both levels of government to solve the issues, including more marshals and better RCMP presence in their communities. The provincial government is reminding residents of the rules around harvesting trees in provincial forests. 3 Prince Albert area men learned the hard way, netting more than $8,000 in fines. In 2022, a conservation officer noticed a truck carrying a load of birch near Prince Albert National Park and pulled it over. The driver didn't have required shipping and receiving reports, and the receiver didn't have a permit to harvest the birch. The officer went to the harvesting location and found a 3rd person in the process of loading more birch. The wood was seized and the 3 men were charged. In April of this year, Terry Toms, Reginald Cook, and Jose Madariaga pleaded guilty to offenses under the Forest Resources Management Act. They were fined $8,229. The province says resource laws are in place to ensure forest sustainability for future generations, and the duties paid ensure the people of Saskatchewan receive a fair return for public resources. Well, we've kind of joined. Everybody seems to be in Saskatchewan looking at some snow on the ground now. And how long is it going to be sticking around?
Well, it looks like some of it's already starting to melt. Those mild temperatures we talked about are sticking around. And as we make our way into the weekend, some places we're going to see a little drop, John, in temperatures. But ultimately, as we head into the weekend, temperatures on the plus side, certainly warmer than seasonal. And so some of this snow, albeit wet and heavy snow, should melt away. But there are colder conditions and more snow in the forecast. And we'll talk about that later on.
As Saskatchewan settles into winter road conditions, more drivers are turning to dashboard cameras. A report from market research firm Grandview Horizon suggests the dash cam market in Canada is growing by about 9% a year, with revenue expected to reach $258 million US by 2030. Dash cams can help with security and insurance claims, capturing moments like this crash on the University Bridge last month, which spread quickly online. A retail analyst says these videos shared on social media are a driving force behind dashcam sales.
People share all kinds of videos, and those videos might not even be in Canada, but suddenly people are nervous about it. They see the social video, they think, my God, I don't want to, I don't want someone to back into me on the street and then try to extort me, or I don't want someone pretending to jump on my hood like I hit them. I need proof.
With growing interest, Best Buy expects dash cams to be one of its hot items this Black Friday. More on that tonight at 6. Premier Scott Moe is back from Washington, D.C., where he met with U.S. officials to talk tariffs, trade, and protecting Saskatchewan jobs. Moe says $40 billion in imports and exports cross the border each year, mentioning how tariff-free trade is critical, given that the U.S. is their largest trading partner. He mentions that Saskatchewan products like oil, potash, and canola help lower costs for Americans.
specifically grocery prices in the U.S. are increasing, and Saskatchewan has a role to play in that. And so I view it as a positive from our province's perspective, because it would lend credence to the reason to not put tariffs on some of the products that we're sending to the United States of America.
The Premier says it's important to keep the trade channels open and protect jobs and support both economies. If the Grey Cup championship wasn't enough for one Riders fan from Saskatoon, he got a special call from the head coach himself that made him $1 million richer.
This is not a joke, buddy.
This is not a joke.
You're our 50-50 winner.
You won the 50-50, my man. Let's freaking go.
Yeah, you did.
Let's go, Wade! 1 million, baby!
Wade Gasmo of Saskatoon couldn't believe his ears when Coach Mace told him he was the Grey Cup 50-50 jackpot winner, taking home $1,002,553. The Saskatchewan Rough Rider Foundation's Grey Cup 50-50 jackpot was the largest total in CFL history. Mace joked with Gasmo, saying this meant he needed to buy season tickets for at least the next few years. When we return, a retreat for veterans and first responders dealing with trauma. Jasmine Pelche finds out about the River Valley Resilience Retreat.
We're at the River Valley Resilience Retreat with co-founder Jeff Reeder to find out more information about the retreat, what it does, and who is being helped by this program. What was your career path before you ended up co-founding the retreat?
At a young age, I joined a volunteer fire department in my home community. So I did that at the age of 15 until I graduated high school. And then went right into a career in EMS for 3 years, and then I went into firefighting as my career for 20 years.
Who's the target demographic for the Resilience Retreat?
So yeah, it'd be veterans and all public safety personnel and their families. So public safety personnel is basically first responders, police, fire, EMS, corrections, healthcare workers. That's quite a large, don't want to leave anybody out, but it's quite a large definition, a lot of groups covered.
When people come out here, how long do they typically stay?
It can be an overnight stay, it can be a day, or it can be a week long, depending on how far you're coming from. We've had people right across Canada that are making their trek and across Canada and need a place to stay, so they've come and stayed here for a week and place to kind of lay their head, or they come for a weekend. So it's very wide range of lengths kind of thing. So
you can also help connect people if necessary with additional services and specialists. Could you go into more information about those specialists and who you get out here to help out with your clients?
Sure, yeah. It's based on, when people come out, we kind of assess what the needs are. A lot of the symptoms with operational stress injuries or post-traumatic stress are similar amongst individuals. So depending on where they are in their journey, kind of what they're experiencing, and we try to just pair them with people that are, close to where their community is, so we try to identify what the needs are and then, make those connections. We have the clinical therapy, which is oftentimes, 1 or 2 sessions a week, but then we need to fill in the gaps with other types of modalities as well, so we can kind of come at it with that whole, holistic approach, right? So somebody can have an option if they wanted to do, if they're here for a few days and they want to learn an instrument while they're here. We have a number of guitars that people can take back to their cabin and learn something new, kind of help the rewiring process and make those positive connections as well. And then, we have an equine assisted learning program that we partner with Cartier Farms from Prince Albert, and we bring groups out there to learn about equine assisted learning and how that process helps as well. For myself, I know in my healing journey, horses was a big catalyst for my recovery.
How does intake work for the Resilience Retreat? Do people call beforehand, or how does that kind of get set up?
Yeah, so they can call or email if they reach out on social media, through our website. We have a 1-800 number that people can call, and that goes to somebody will answer it 24 hours a day. And then we just kind of have a conversation and triage what the needs are. And if somebody, needs to come out in crisis, we just make sure that somebody's here to receive them, and then get them the supports that they need to help them on their journey.
When did you open, and how many people have been through the doors since the first day? Roughly.
Since we opened here, I would say we're in the 4,000 interactions category. So it's been quite a bit, and it's increasing every month. Yeah, follow us on Facebook, all the social media channels at River Valley Resilience. Look at our website, phone us anytime. Our contact information is on our website, so reach out to us through that. We have a, that'd be probably the best thing, is just follow us on social media so you can keep in touch with what we have going on and upcoming events that we're hosting.
Hey, great. Well, thank you for having me out here.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeff has a look at weather coming right after this, and later, new technology assisting long-term care patients with eating. So, Jeff, you mentioned it was kind of nice shoveling weather, but it didn't quite turn into snowman-making weather.
Well, you know what? I was a little, lazy. I tried to make some snowballs, and they just didn't stick, and it wasn't easy. I was going to have to take some time to do it, and it was like, It's just, I've got time for, I don't have time for that today. But it was certainly wet, sticky snow. You can certainly make good snowballs with it, but to make a proper snowman, it was going to take some effort I was not willing to invest in. Anyhow, let's take a look at Canada's West Coast. Yes, they're going to get a bit of a break on Friday, or rather tomorrow. But then Friday, we start to see a lot more in the way of rain for the West Coast. That's rain into Saturday as well, and snow in higher elevations. Looks like Whistler opens this weekend, and then next weekend, a few other places in BC, and ultimately early December in Alberta for the ski hills. Quiet conditions across the prairies, but the big deal of the day is it's going to be cool, and as starting to cool down on Monday, and then it looks like we will see some snow in the forecast. We'll talk about that later on. But just take a look at our futurecast. Nothing in the way of active weather, and those pressure lines pretty far apart. So relatively clear and light winds, so not an issue. So overnight tonight, some fog patches will be showing up. We're looking at -9 in Spiritwood under clear skies, a bit more cloud in the Battlefords, -11, -8 in Candle Lake and Rosthern, -7 for Birch Hills and Nipawin overnight, and -6 the expected overnight temperature in Melfort. Tomorrow we are dealing once again with above seasonal temperatures, but just barely for most locations. In fact, some of these places maybe it's by a couple of points, but -1 in Spiritwood, mainly sunny skies, -1 as well in North Battleford, a bit more cloud, -2 with mainly cloudy skies in Rosthern, the same for Candle Lake and Nipawin, mainly sunny skies for Birch Hills and Melfort in both locations, anticipating a daytime high of -2. Now on to the details for the Gateway City, -8 degrees overnight with just a few clouds out there, but as you can see, we do anticipate some fog patches showing up. Winds out of the west 20, but backing off as the evening goes along. And then tomorrow, the winds pick up a little bit, but just a little bit. This is light winds, mainly cloudy skies, -2 degrees. And then as we take a look at the 7-day outlook for Prince Albert and area, -1 on Friday, 3 on the plus side on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, -1 to start the work week. And so we've got ourselves a chance of some flurries on Monday. And then you can see that downward trend in temperatures, -4 on Tuesday, and Wednesday -7. And yes, it's going to get significantly colder as we roll into the early part of December.
Well, that means if you didn't have time or a chance to work on your snowball making skills, there will be another chance, right? And if you need some practice, just scrape the inside of the freezer like Lisa Simpson did in that classic Simpsons episode. And actually, speaking of classics, it's time for a look at some Huskies Vanier Cup history with a very familiar face. Matt Young has this week's classic sports moments.
The The last time the Saskatchewan Huskies won the Vanier Cup was in 1998, nearly 30 years ago. In fact, their current head coach, Scott Flory, was actually on the team, and we found some rare footage of him back in his college playing days. And here's him doing an interview about being drafted into the CFL. That's right, Facebook did not exist, and the Vanier Cup was played at Skydome. Anyways, that year, the Huskies made it to the championship to face the Concordia Stingers. The game was a seesaw battle full of great plays and a couple of almost highlights. The deciding play came in the fourth quarter when the Huskies recovered a fumble in the end zone to score a touchdown with just over 2 minutes left. After that, they would watch the seconds tick down en route to a 24-17 win and their third Vanier Cup title. It was a magical season for the Huskies, who celebrated being number one in the country. Scott Flory would go on to play in the CFL and later become the Huskies' current head coach.
And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and Wood Finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Scott Flory and the University of Saskatchewan Huskies are preparing for their appearance in the Vanier Cup this weekend. The Huskies will be facing off against the Université de Montréal Carabin this weekend at Mosaic Stadium in Regina. While the team hasn't won the Cup since 1998, they have made 6 appearances in the national championship. Huskies head coach Scott Flory did play for the Huskies when they won in '98. He says there are similarities between that team and this one.
I just remember the focused team. I remember, a team that was a little bit on a mission, and I see a lot of the similarities in this group than to the group that we had then. There's a core group of fifth-year guys that we had back then that I think we see now as well that are playing with an edge and that are leading that locker room.
Kickoff for the Vanier Cup is at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
You might want to skip the elevator and take the stairs because a new report is warning less than half of Canadian adults are getting enough physical exercise.
The last time adults' physical activity levels were examined were in 2021, where we saw about 49% of adults meeting national physical activity guidelines. And so while we've certainly seen a little bit of a decrease, I think what's important to take away from that is that considering what we endured throughout the pandemic, the closures, the cancellations, the restrictions on outdoor spaces, and the increased screen use, it really does suggest that we were able to stabilize our overall movement.
In its 2025 report card, Participaction finds just 46% of adults are meeting the guidelines for physical activity. The report says physical inactivity is costing the healthcare system $3.9 billion a year, and a modest 15% increase in physical activity could save nearly $1 billion annually. A high-tech tool is lending a helping hand at a BC long-term care facility. As Yvonne Raymond explains, the results are putting smiles on faces at the dinner table.
Now it says good morning.
A robotic arm that Audrey Harry has dubbed Edward the Eater is turning heads with a smile, or in this case, through a demo.
It makes meal times fun, and it's great entertainment for my table mates. They love watching me eat, and they comment on whether the spoon's working properly, whether it's too full or whether it took too big a bite. They've got lots to say about it.
Occupational therapists at her long-term care home in Victoria advocated to bring the tool to Vancouver Island.
As an OT, our job is to try to promote independence as long as possible. And so something like this is, life-changing.
I push the scoop button and it scoops a mouthful of food.
Since losing function in her hands, Audrey was being fed by staff and says she quickly took up an offer to turn to technology instead.
It's very hard when you get older and start losing bits here and there, and because I was always a very independent person. So there's a certain amount of dignity to not having to be fed.
The former nurse thinks it's easy to use.
When I'm ready for the next mouthful, I push the button again.
She agrees, though, the gadget is not for everyone.
You need to have an amount of cognition and attention that allows you to focus on everything that's happening in a dining room during a mealtime, but also be able to focus on what's happening in front of you.
For Audrey, the robot is a source of relief, giving her the power to ask for help if she needs it.
Thank you for the meal.
Yvonne Raymond, CTV News, Victoria.
Brought to you by Saskatchewan Union of Nurses. Thank you to Saskatchewan's 11,000 registered nurses.
I wonder if they've made one of those for driving assistants so you can alert everybody to your thanking them for letting them into the lane.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know.
All right, Jeff, let's finish with a Saskatchewan artist who is sharing in the celebration of the Riders' Grey Cup win. Chris Shapak created this piece of artwork featuring the Grey Cup with a feather, the sun, and a bison. Shapak, who is from the Red Pheasant Cree Nation, and he's now living in Saskatoon, he says this piece is a celebration bringing everything full circle, appreciating that we all celebrate the victory as a province. He says art is a story, and even when capturing moments of being still, the story can be recaptured in moving parts, whether it's AJ Ouellette moving through the defense like a bison or highlighting the feather in the Grey Cup. Shapak will be the artist in residence at Wanuskewin Heritage Park starting in January to February 6th, where the public can visit him in studio as he'll be working on an exhibition for Wanuskewin. And that's a pretty cool little way to celebrate.
That is really nice. I hope they're considering making prints of that.
Absolutely. I would be definitely one of those who would make myself, make some space on the wall, because that would take up a lot of space. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for tuning in. National News is next.